Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the incredibly high-stakes battle for the one thing that powers all of AI, the chip, the brain behind the magic, and believe me, it is a fight. So let's get right into it, because the answer to that question pits a reigning, undisputed champion against a really formidable challenger. And this competition, it's literally going to shape the future of all technology. So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll meet the heavyweights. Then, we'll watch them clash in the cloud and on the edge. After that, we'll uncover a hidden battlefield, software. And finally, we'll look at their two totally different paths to dominance. All right, first up, let's meet our contenders. In one corner, you've got the champ, and the other, a rising national powerhouse that's really looking to rewrite the rules of the game. So on one side, you have NVIDIA. I mean, if you've heard anything about the AI boom, you know them. Their hardware isn't just an option, it is the default. On the other side, you have Cambricon, a company built from the ground up with a laser-focused mission to be a specialized domestic powerhouse. And this is where it gets really interesting, because their core philosophies couldn't be more different. The best way to think about it is like this. NVIDIA's GPU is a super versatile Swiss Army knife. It's a general tool that just so happened to become insanely good at AI. Cambricon's chip, on the other hand, is a surgeon's scalpel, purpose-built from day one for one thing and one thing only, AI. Okay, so how does that whole Swiss Army knife versus scalpel thing actually play out in the real world? Well, the main event, the big title fight, is happening in the massive data centers where the most powerful AI models on the planet are born. And the fight in the cloud really boils down to one single strategic bet. NVIDIA is betting that its overwhelming general-purpose computing power is the answer to everything. Cambricon is betting that a specialized, superpower-efficient design is going to win out in the long run. And you can see these different approaches right here in the specs. Just look at the memory. NVIDIA's A100 uses something called HBM, high bandwidth memory. Think of it as a massive fire hose just blasting data at the chip. Cambricon, on the other hand, uses LPDDR5, which is the kind of efficient memory you'd find in a really high-end smartphone. It's more like a precise, high-pressure water jet. And that's not an accident. It's a deliberate trade-off: raw, brute force power versus targeted efficiency. And here's where that trade-off has a huge payoff. For certain AI tasks, especially what's called inference, which is just running an already trained model, Cambricon's chip can deliver similar performance while using a fraction of the power. Now, in a data center with thousands and thousands of chips, that energy saving isn't just a little bonus, it's enormous. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This isn't just theory. Major tech giants like Baidu are actively testing Cambricon's newer chips. And what are they finding? Well, they're seeing them as a totally viable replacement for NVIDIA's workhorse, the A100. But, and this is a huge but, here's the brutal reality of the chip industry. Just when the challenger thinks they've closed the gap, just when they're about to land a solid punch on the champion's best product, the champion has already released something new that moves the goalposts way, way down the field. So check this out. Cambricon's next big chip, the MLU220, is a beast designed to beat the A100. But NVIDIA doesn't just sit still. Their next-gen H100 is built on a more advanced manufacturing process, and it's aiming for 3 to 6 times the performance of the A100. The chase is just relentless. Okay, so that's the cloud. But the fight isn't just happening in these giant, invisible data centers. It's also happening right here, in the small devices all around us, on what we call the edge. And out here, on the edge, their strategies get even more different. NVIDIA basically takes its data center tech and shrinks it down into a tiny, high-performance supercomputer for things like advanced robots. Cambricon, on the other hand, creates a super-efficient, low-power chip designed to add smarts to everyday things, like your security camera. I mean, just look at the numbers. The difference in scale is just staggering. NVIDIA's Jetson offers over 17 times the peak AI performance. That's trillions of operations per second, by the way. But it also needs 4 times the power to do it. It's pretty clear they're not even trying to do the same jobs. So what does this all mean? Well, they're targeting completely different markets. Cambricon is perfect for devices that get made by the millions, like smart cameras, where cost and power efficiency are everything. NVIDIA is powering the most complex autonomous machines out there. Delivery robots, high-end drones, where raw performance is the only thing that matters. But you know, this whole thing, it's not just about the silicon. The real long-term advantage, the thing that locks customers in for years, often comes from a hidden battlefield, the software built around the chip. Think about it. You can have the fastest chip in the world, but if nobody knows how to program it, it's just a fancy paperweight. This is why we call a company's software ecosystem its defensive moat. It protects their castle, their market share, by making it really hard for developers to leave. And this right here is probably NVIDIA's biggest trump card. Its CUDA platform is the global standard. It's the superhighway that millions of AI developers already know how to drive on. Cambricon's Neuralware is powerful for sure, but it's a new road network. It requires developers to learn a whole new map. And for a developer, that has a real-world impact. Getting an AI model running on NVIDIA is often as simple as install, code, and run. To unlock the specialized efficiency of a Cambricon chip, there are a few extra steps. You have to convert your model, then run it through an optimizer. It's a little more work, but the potential payoff in efficiency can be huge.
All right, let's pull back from the technical weeds for a minute and look at the big picture. What's the grand strategy here? Who are these companies really trying to sell to, and what does that tell us about their endgame?
NVIDIA is playing for all the marbles. Their strategy is simple: global domination. They want to be the premium, high-performance choice for absolutely everyone, everywhere. And by using that massive CUDA software mode, their goal is to be the undisputed, indispensable engine for all of AI, period. Cambricon, on the other hand, is playing a much smarter, more focused game. You could call it the national champion strategy. Instead of trying to compete everywhere, they're aiming to be the backbone of China's own massive AI ambitions. They're leaning hard into their strengths: energy efficiency, cost, and really deep local support for their key partners. And that really brings us to the final, critical question about the future. Will one company's powerful Swiss Army knife continue to rule the entire world? Or, as AI gets into everything, will we see a world with more room for many different, specialized scalpels that are perfectly tailored for specific jobs? The answer to that question is going to define the next decade of technology.